Hi, and this is Mike Garner from MrMikeGarner.com, coming to you for your personal growth and spiritual development. And I just want to explain something, present something, offer something that is really powerful, because a lot of people dumb down their power. And you are powerful, and I'm powerful. And yet, in the world, and in life in general, and in our everyday lives, we sort of don't claim that power, we don't own that power, we don't often recognise that power. And I think the reason for that is that there's so many conversations that are taking place and so much on television and in the media and out in the public domain that's telling you who you are. And you hear these songs, don't you? I'm only human after all. And we talk about human vulnerability and human frailty, and we are human beings. And the human part, being human, we sort of use as a bit of an excuse. Well, I'm doing my best. I'm only human. I want you to reconsider that. By the end of this presentation, hopefully, you'll understand how powerful you are, because in here is a supercomputer. You are, and I am, the human race is, at the top of the evolutionary chain. There's nothing more sophisticated than a human being. There might be better predators. There might be species that have been on the planet longer than humans, because really speaking, we've only just arrived in terms of the planet's history and the universe's history. It's said, that if the world started at your shoulder, that if you came through all the ages of development and growth to the end of your finger, that if you just took a nail file and shaved off some of your nail, that the shavings represents, in that whole length, the length of time that human beings have been on the planet. We are new here, but we live amazing lives. We have amazing brains, like I say, a supercomputer. We have imagination, we have creativity, we have intellect, intelligence, we have a decision-making faculty, we are creative. Many other species are, but we are really at the top of the chain. And in terms of where we were, say, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, we're living fantastic lives. If you look at the advances in technology, technology is accelerating massively. And we know things now that our ancestors never knew, and we've got technology that they never had. We've got it really good. And in the civilized world, we've got it better than really good. We've got things at our disposal that even our grandparents didn't have, and our great-grandparents couldn't have even dreamt of. So, and there's money despite what you're being told, and there's resources despite what you're being told. There's wealth, and health is available despite what you're being told. There's an unfair distribution of all that, and I don't want to go into the politics of that, but we're living at times of plenty, and the information that's available and the technology that's available is phenomenal. Our resources are phenomenal and should be shared across the planet, but they're not, which is another debate. But we're right at the top. If you take any other species getting on with their life, we're being human beings, and then there's giraffes being giraffes, and goldfish being goldfish, and birds being birds, plants being plants, reptiles being reptiles, insects being insects, and an ant being an ant, living in its world, completely probably unaware of anybody else, just being an ant and doing it really well, and a dolphin being a dolphin. And they're just doing the best they can. And yet, we're the most intelligent, the most creative, the most evolved with this supercomputer, and we're messing it up for ourselves so much. Why? Why do I do it? I have an awareness now, but I still do it. And I'm sharing that awareness with you. And do you still do it? Do you use your intelligence against you? Is life doing your head in? Are you suffering? Are you confused? Are you frustrated? Are you angry? Are you jealous? Are you sad? Are you depressed? Are you lonely? Are you guilty? Or are you joyful? I would suggest that there's an epidemic of complaining, overthinking, and making excuses because of what's being projected to us, what we're being told. But you know, if you think about it, that you really are an amazing miracle on two legs, a walking, breathing universe within the body that is so finely balanced and in tune with everything. The waxing and the waning of the moon, the cycles, the seasons, all vibrations, light and dark, sound. You know, we have a multi-sensory vehicle, a body and a mind, and we're phenomenal. And yet so many people are suffering. They're not enjoying that miracle. They're making everything a problem. And so can I, and so have I. And I'm capable of doing it in the future. But as I say, I have an awareness now, which I'm sharing. You know, some people just can't be happy, won't be happy. And the world makes it difficult for you to be happy in society. External influences. Social hypnosis. So what's going on? You know that some people would suffer even if things were really good for them, if they had the money they wanted and the things they wanted and relationships they wanted. But if they haven't got a relationship, they're suffering. And if they have got a relationship, they're suffering in the relationship. If they haven't got kids, they're suffering because they haven't got kids. And if they have got kids, the kids give them suffering. And if they haven't got work and they're unemployed, they're suffering. And if they have got a job, they're moaning and complaining, they're suffering. And they've got a home, but they're suffering because of problems in the home and the neighbours. So they want a bigger home, or they're homeless and they're suffering. And people are just suffering, aren't they? There's very few people who are truly happy, truly joyous, abundant. There are some, but they have spikes, ups and downs, which is normal. But we have an epidemic of suffering. And as you look at what's going on in the world, there's a lot more of it now, and there's a lot more violence, and there's a lot more polarity between rich and poor, the winners and the losers. Lots of people in chaos and out of control, in anxiety and stress, in illness, in sickness and dis-ease, not being at ease. But as human beings at the top of the evolutionary pyramid, if you like, we do have insights, observations we can witness, possibly because we're not so much in survival like an ant or a giraffe that's an endangered species. We have a higher intellect. We have this supercomputer that often works against us. Wouldn't it be wonderful if somebody gave us an instruction book and told us how to use this brain? I think over the last sort of 30 years of my developing my business model, where I always say I help people overcome the obstacles that stand in the way of their health, happiness and success. It's all about processing your thinking and your perceptions, because whatever's going on out there in all these situations like relationships and jobs and blah de blah de blah, ultimately it's not what's going on out there, it's what's going on, if you like, in here. We have evolved to a place where it's our perceptions, it's the way we see things that give us our suffering. Because there's nothing really that can get to us. You know, we're not threatened, I'm not under threat. I'm not going to be stabbed. I'm not going to be stomped on like an ant. There's nobody really chasing me like a giraffe or an endangered species. Nobody's trying to hunt me, poach me. So we're safe, aren't we? Pretty much. So our suffering is brought about within us. In fact, it's true to say, and I teach this, that nobody can make you happy, make you laugh. Nobody can annoy you, frustrate you, anger you. It's a choice to be happy, it's a choice to be frightened, it's a choice to be in love, it's a choice to be in fear and hatred and stress. Might be an involuntary choice, but nevertheless we can choose how we respond, and in fact that's the only thing we can choose, our response. Things come at us, but what comes from us is our choice, and that's the clue, that's the gift, that's the key. And that's why I'm here talking, because there's a beautiful affirmation: if it's to be, it's up to me, and if it's to be, it's up to you, and you can get control of your responses. You can get control of your suffering, because suffering is a choice as well. You can choose to be a human being, or you can choose to be a human suffering. And I know which one I'd choose. It's just adopting a different perspective, a different viewpoint, a different attitude, a different level of maturity and control and discipline. With practice, it can become the new you. You can make better choices, which gives you better external circumstances. Stop making bad choices, which reduces life coming at you. It means you're more in control, so life comes from you. But then the things that do come at you, that in the past you used to react to, you can choose to just let go. To not allow anything to come from you that suggests that external things have an effect on you. You can become neutral. Not respond. You can choose to just be. Being human. A human being, not a human reacting. At the moment you're listening to me, and the experience of me, my voice, the vision of me that you're watching on the screen, is being processed inside you. Although I'm on the screen, light is coming from the screen, sound is coming from the speaker, the sound is vibrating on your eardrums, and the light, the image, is being passed through your eyes to your retina and being converted by your brain. So the sight and sound of me and everything that I'm saying and the understanding of me, your decision to agree or disagree, is all going on inside you. I'm inside you. You're experiencing me inside you. It's not an external experience, although the illusion is that it is. And that's actually the truth in everything in your life. You live your life inside your body through sensory receptors. You're receiving sensory information through touch, taste, sight, sound and smell, and perceiving, making decisions and judgments based on your interpretation inside you of your now experience. And you don't have to react in a negative way that gives you suffering. You don't have to suffer a cold. You can have a cold. You can be angry and know you're angry as an observer, but you don't have to do anger. With practice, you'll do anger in a far more mature way, in a more beneficial way for yourself and those people that you get angry with, who actually are pushing your buttons, your angry buttons, and you're reacting and you're handing your power over to them. You're becoming powerless. You're reacting. And even if you like the people who compliment you and then you blush or smile or giggle or laugh or whatever you do, but that can be patronising as well, because they're controlling you with an insult and they're controlling you with a compliment, and you're handing over your control to external things rather than choosing how to respond, react, act. And if you just consider what I'm saying, you'll know it's true. You can literally take the meaning of this little presentation, this talk, and change your life now by not reacting in the ways that you used to react before you heard this talk. Reacting in positive, mature, beneficial ways for you and for those people that you interact with, that you vibrate with. Perception is everything. We are at the top of the evolutionary chain. We have the ability to foresee things. We have excellent memories. We know what's happened in the past. So we've got a pretty good idea, if we're in the same situation, what's going to happen again. So we don't have to do things that we don't like. We don't have to be with people that we don't like. We don't have to moan and complain about it. We just make a new decision. We update our memories. You don't always have to be anything. You can change today. You don't have to be in a relationship that doesn't serve you anymore, in a job that doesn't please and ease you, in a place, in a space. You don't have to do anything. You might choose to, and you might choose to do things as stepping stones towards better situations, but that's taking control. And when you take control, you're not a victim, therefore you're not suffering, you're a victor. You're a winner. The human race are winners. That's why we've survived. We crawled out of the primeval sludge and we evolved to be where we are today. And if you're watching this, you're the highest evolved species in a long line of evolution, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to evolve and grow consciousness, which is a very powerful responsibility. And is your behaviour a reflection of the fact that you're the highest evolved person at the moment in our known galaxy? Are you honouring the fact that you've got a body and there's plenty of souls queuing up to get a body, and you've got one, so well done, so honour it and do the best that you can with it? I hope I've given you food for thought. If you agree or disagree, put it in the comments box below, positively, constructively, because that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to stimulate comment, offer help, to help you overcome the obstacles that stand in the way of your health, happiness and success in life and business. I'm not saying I'm right. You'll be the judge of that. Hope you've enjoyed this. Keep checking back for more talks from me, Mike Garner, from MrMikeGarner.com. God bless.